This dog was wounded with buckshot.
We had a kitty cat came in that had its arms, front paws,
Yeah.
tied together with a wire, and we tried to save the paw, and we couldn't. So he tested positive for parvo. Highly contagious, terribly contagious. They're not camera shy.
This is the back kennel area. This is where we keep most of our dogs at.
And it's noisy.
Very noisy, very, very noisy. As you can see, they're in a 4x6 kennel. That's why we try to rush and try to get them out as quickly as possible, because this ain't no life for a dog. We got some puppies with their mamas back here.
Hey guys, we're going to visit the Harlan Animal Shelter. And we're going to talk to a wonderful group of people, the Friends of the Shelter. They're going to tell us about how the shelter's improved over the time and the things they've done there to help our little friends who definitely need some human kindness in their life. It's a great group of people, and I think they've done a lot down here. We're also going to meet some special little four-legged friends, are we not?
Yes, we will.
They're going to give us a complete tour of the place. And if you see any dog or cat that you fall in love with, they can hook you up with them down here. And there'll be some special ones, I'm sure. It's right down here for us old timers. It's located near where Mac's Family Center used to be. And for you folks that don't know what I'm talking about, I guess you're too young or I'm too old. It's also located next to the Harlan County Road Department garage. That's right there with all those red trucks right there. And the animal shelter is right down here. I almost missed it. Right down here next to that. Let's go talk to these folks and check this place out. Okay, sweetie?
Let's do.
All righty. Folks, we are in the Harlan Animal Shelter, and we're going to meet board members of the Friends of the Shelter, and they're going to explain to us what they do, why they exist, and why they need our help.
I'm Annie Fox. I'm chairman of Friends of the Shelter, and our mission is to support the shelter, support the programs, the transports, the rescues, the adoptions, the low-cost spay and neutering, and the education of the public about animal welfare.
My name is Suey Stepp. I'm a board member, and been serving the shelter for, 12, 15 years, something like that. So I do a lot of talking to people. I try to raise a lot of money for the shelter. I've done some landscaping.
My name's Ryan Sawyers. I'm the shelter manager here. I kind of oversee the day-to-day functions here at the shelter with the adoptions, with the rescues, stuff like that. And pretty much whatever these ladies tell me to do, I do. So,
You really believe that? The board, we oversee and implement the spay and neuter program. We work with Ryan and the staff here and try to stay on top of creating new relationships with other rescues. The more rescues, the better. We reach out in the community. You might find us cleaning kennels and scooping litter boxes and feeding animals, and we do whatever it takes to get the job done is what we do. And so that's why you don't need to, if you're going to be a board member, you're going to get your hands dirty. You met me today, I was cleaning the dog. You never know what you're going to find. But it's heartbreaking at times, but the reward when you see, especially when you see pictures of dogs that have been adopted or rescued, and you see where they are now, a little bit of your heart is healed.
You want to introduce us to a very special lady who's been assaulted basically by a buckshot.
Running around for 2 weeks, they picked her up at a church.
Sunshine Church of God.
For a spay and neuter, and we shaved her then, and she was covered in just black mats of blood and buckshot. So we shaved her, and then we gave her a injection, and then she did 10 days of antibiotics. But we think that the buckshot is starting to try to expel through the skin
Yes.
what's left, and
She certainly is friendly.
she is the most loving dog. As you can see, nobody would let you do this to her.
She's just, oh my goodness.
This
Look at
dog-
that. She's just so.
But she,
This dog was wounded with buckshot. Somebody actually shot her. You can
And
see it
she-
up and down her back.
you know, and she's very trusting. But this is a problem. You know, we're a shelter. We don't have the funds to get everybody the help that they need. We were so fortunate that we were able to have a rescue group fund that give us the antibiotics and injections the day they were here for a low-cost spay and neutering. You know, and so we've been watching her, but she's just not. We think she's probably gone into some type of infection, so we're gonna take her to the vet because she's just too good of it. She's just a sweetheart.
Very sweet. I'm telling you, she's.
And we'll just have to try to raise the funds, you know, but it's this kind of stuff we see all the time.
All the time.
All the time.
More than what we want to, put it that way.
And it's not her fault. It's not her fault. You know, I don't know whether she was let out because she's so docile.
And see, when we got the call on her, she
She's
was
not
running
very
around for 2
No.
weeks before
She's
we
not
made
very
a-
old. And
made a complaint, you know. And by the
I mean,
time we
I've had
got
her in the
she already
bathtub.
had,
I've
you
been
know,
scrubbing.
buckshot. And she was a good dog then. Didn't have no problems.
and you know, she's,
We noticed it when we brought her in on intake.
it's not her fault. But then who in the world is going to adopt a dog that looks like this? You know, that's why
Thank God they wasn't closer to her.
we're
Yeah,
going to
for
have
real.
we're going to have to get her better.
Yeah, at first we thought she got attacked by something, and then
Yeah.
when she let the
And it
vet
could
look
be-
at it, and we realized what it was. you
It
know.
could be. It could be. I think there's multiple things going on because she, you know, she could have. Oh, sorry.
You're fine.
But she's just one of our cases. You see any more patches?
Is she your worst case right now that you're having to deal with? Situation?
Situation, yes.
Situational wise, yeah.
As
I
far
mean,
as what we
last
have
year-
on hand right now, yeah, she's probably the worst case.
We had a kitty cat came in that had its arms, front paws,
Yeah.
tied together with a wire, and we tried to save the paw, and we couldn't. So I we were able to raise money, and we called him. We raised $800, and that's what it costs to have the paw removed. And we renamed him Tripod. And he is now living the life in Minnesota.
Wow.
So,
I love that story though.
but
So you adopt these animals all over the country out there.
Rescues, yes.
Rescue
yes,
animals.
they go to Chicago, Minnesota, sometimes California, pretty much all across the
Wisconsin,
nation.
all over, yeah.
Wisconsin, Indiana.
Yeah.
We work with a bunch of
so
rescues that has like a network of other rescues. So
We've actually had people that came in to adopt and fly back, fly them on a plane.
yeah,
You know, it's a blessing too. None of that got her in her eyes.
oh yeah, oh yeah.
'Cause she could be blind.
look at her. She's just.
And see, we do a transport every 2 weeks of rescues.
She's
So we got dogs going out every 2 weeks, dogs and cats.
This is such a good dog, folks. Is my wife's poodle is not this good when she's being groomed.
No, she does not like
She's a little
anything
monster.
to do with her
You know
little
what?
feet.
She knows we're trying to help her.
Yep.
And she knows, you know, and it probably, you know, just getting this off of her, you know, we bathed her in some chlorhexidine, some, you know, medicated shampoo. So she has to feel better, you know, even though she looks pretty bad. See, but I feel bad. Oh, don't do it. Yeah, I do. And see, and I still wag my tail.
So how long have you had her at the shelter?
She's been here almost a month. A good girl. Look at this smile. She's smiling. Yeah, she's a good girl.
Sweetheart.
Say I am. I really would be. I would be the best
What
the
a
best
baby.
companion.
She is going to make somebody
A wonderful
She's going to make
pet.
somebody a wonderful dog. She's going to have a great future because somebody will fall in love with her. Maybe right here watching this video. Come on down and visit with her if you're in the area. If you're not, they'll help you get her.
I tell you what, rescues make the best pets
Absolutely.
because they know that they have been rescued, and they are so grateful. They are so
Yeah, she got it in her
grateful.
front paws, so she's really fortunate that she didn't get it in her eyes.
Yeah.
Okay, this is on the back side of the indoor kennels, and this is called our outdoor runs. There's really not enough for the amount of dogs. They need to be outside and fresh air, and we would like to have some type of covering all back through here. And
Well, we actually did, and the storm ended up taking it off.
yeah, we did, and the storm blew it off.
So you did have
We
one.
did. We had made a halfway. That way they can come out in the sun. They can also go in the shade when they wanted to.
We call this our puppy run. And so what we did, we had strictly volunteers, and myself and my pastor, Arnold Hammonds, came out here, and we shoveled all that off and got it all ready for concrete. And then we had the fence, the gates inside, so it didn't cost us anything there. We're like on a penny budget around here. So we got that all done with volunteer help. Will McClure, put a plug in for Will. He came out here and helped with the concrete. Guys over here at the garage came and helped. And I think the only thing was we purchased the concrete.
Yep.
I think that was it. So
Everything else was donated.
everything else was donated, yeah. Okay, this is a isolation building here, and it's one of our biggest accomplishments this year. And I want to tell you how this came about. So many years ago, I started this Friends of the Shelter contribution box. So I started putting them around the county, and Annie, how long have we been doing that? Over, you think 15 years, 10 years?
Yeah, probably. Where's my light here?
What exactly is this for? The isolation building, what is it for?
Okay, you have, what do we have, 54 kennels in the back?
Yes.
A dog comes in, he looks okay on Monday. On Wednesday, we notice that he's very puny. By Thursday, he's been diagnosed. We now have the ability to have some testing kits, and let's say he tests positive for parvo. Highly contagious, terribly contagious, wipe out a whole.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
It's terrible for a shelter.
it's terrible for a shelter. Distemper, terrible for a shelter. So we didn't have a place to put these guys. And there were some outbreaks that were very, very unfortunate. And every shelter has them. Everybody has them. So we decided we needed a place. And Sue was because you could treat parvo if you catch it early enough. But it takes time. And the same thing if you have kittens come in with upper respiratory and it's airborne. Well, then it can go all through your kitten room. So this is our isolation room where we have Sue saved the money through these little boxes over the years.
Donation box.
Donation boxes at various fast foods, Tractor Supply, Southern Wholesale, different businesses. And those pennies and nickels and dimes and dollars bought us this building. And then
Tell them how much.
it was, what, 8? Well, the building was 6.
Yeah, six.
Six grand. Yeah.
And that's all from those little boxes. But it's been over like 10 years.
Yeah.
Wow, so this is, for the health of the animals in the shelter, this is probably the most important thing you have.
Yeah.
Because what you do is you bring them in here when you first get them and isolate them
Exactly.
for a little while to make sure they're healthy.
And
instead
that's
of
why
putting
you
them with
see
other dogs.
we've got gloves, we've got gowns, we've got incubators, puppy warmers, all of this. So everything is here. You put booties on, you come out here, treat your animals, feed, water, clean, take your booties off, dispose of them. We've got our own, which was another $2,000 more, our own heat and air. out here. Doesn't circulate anywhere else. Doesn't go, so it's not gonna go over to our shelter.
Well, this is a big deal. This is
Great. This is absolutely great.
And what did you call it? The greatest achievement.
This is the greatest
This is-
of this year, the greatest achievement of
That is
Friends of the
something to
Shelter.
Whenever this building first got here, it was bare.
Yes.
It was bare.
It's
It
a
was
barn.
Just a
Yeah,
barn.
Just a barn.
Good friend of mine, Ben Pace, come and helped us out on redoing all
Yes.
this, putting the mirror light in, and the flooring and everything, and the outlets and all that. And he helped us out, so I want to give him a little bit of a shout out because he helped us out on that.
Exactly.
So we could actually use some more of these,
Yeah, more of these.
Oh, yeah.
Let me show you.
and they're not cheap.
No, they're not.
You got room for them in here too.
Yeah.
So, yeah. If we have a mom that has puppies, we'll bring out a your little
Swimming
swimming
pool.
pool
Yes.
and fill it full of blankets and towels and let her have the because it's very stressful to have puppies, newborns and stuff in the shelter.
Well, it's a dog's instincts or a cat when they go to give birth to go off by themselves and get away from other
Right.
animals.
Yes.
So it makes
Right.
them feel better if they can do that.
Exactly.
Wow, you're all just awesome. Just so wonderful.
Yeah,
I mean, this is great.
This is awesome. And
Yes.
everybody needs to know about this in Harlan, but everywhere. And
They
if
certainly-
you, like I said, you see a dog, especially like Jewel, is that what you named her?
Yes.
On here, it don't matter where you're at. If you qualify to adopt her, you get in touch with them, and we'll put all kinds of contact information. If you want to talk to these people about adopting an animal or helping them out, this video will have contact information all over it, so don't worry about it. There'll be an information section pinned in the comment section. I'll put some on screen any way I can, so it will be easy. Get hold of them, and they'll help you figure a way if you qualify to get an animal to you, especially like Jewel, who I can't believe somebody did that. The filled her full of buckshot,
And maybe she was starving, and maybe she was in their garbage.
Yeah,
You know,
yeah.
I would like to give people the benefit of the doubt.
well, yeah, well,
So, do you have information like what her treatment's going to be and what all she's facing? Do you have that
We
information?
will after we get back from the vet. Like I said, the one vet was here, and we did the antibiotics and all that stuff, and it's obvious that she is in need of more extensive care. So
Possibly surgery, maybe.
I don't know whether it's surgery or whether it might be IV antibiotic. I don't know.
So you
but
don't
we'll
know
know.
yet. She's heading to the vet.
So she head to the vet and,
So do
and
you
see.
post that? Is it on the page?
What we'll do when and I'm like you. I hate to beg. I'll probably put a picture of her up and say,
So
"This
that
is Jewel.
So you know what.
Here's
you
her
need.
story.
Yes.
Here's what the vet says. Here's what we're gonna, what we're gonna do and the treatment we're gonna need for her. So we'll do that.
This is the back kennel area. This is where we keep most of our dogs at.
and it's noisy.
Very noisy. Very, very noisy. As you can see, they're in a 4x6 kennel. That's why we try to rush and try to get them out as quickly as possible because this ain't no life for a dog. Makes me sad every time I come back here because I don't like seeing them this way. But it's what we got and it's what we have to work with right now. We do our best taking care of them, feeding them, watering them, getting them out whenever we can to walk them, get some energy out. It's actually feeding time right now is what they're doing. We got some puppies with their mamas back here.
They're not camera shy. You're not even paying attention, are you? You're like, okay, I just ate. Okay.
they're just laid back. You little girl.
It looks like a mouse. Oh my God, they're so cute. I've turned into such a cat person in old age. I take them all home.
Oh, here's a mama.
Yeah.
Okay, this is our big project a few years ago. It's probably been 6, maybe years ago. We really believe in the necessity of spay and neuter. We were having a hard time locating vets that would come in and do it. We were having a hard time finding a location where we could do it. So we just decided that, by golly, we'll do it where it needs to be. And so we took, I think, 15 kennels that were not being used at the shelter because they were in such bad shape. We raised money. It was a collaborative effort between Friends of the Shelter and Fiscal Court, and we raised enough money. This was about a $70,000 project, and we raised the money and we built this clinic here. So now people come in. We have low-cost spay and neutering at least once a month, sometimes twice a month. All of the applications are made through the shelter. They pay the shelter, and then they bring their animal to the shelter. They are processed, and they get their own little hospital ID band, just like everybody else does. Their little kennel gets an ID band, and then they're brought over here in various stages to be spayed and neutered. We had to have separate heat and air units in here. There's one in here, and there's one in the surgery suite. So we would not contaminate or get anything from the other kennels. This is our intake room where they are stacked. We'll have kennels stacked way high. Ron can tell you. This is our recovery area where dogs, cats, when they come out, they are laid here. We have towels, blankets. We have a microwave. We warm socks, so we bring them out of anesthesia, just like a recovery room. So we turn them, we warm them up slowly, we check their eyes, we check their ears, we check their oxygen rates until they recover. And then once they recover, they go back in their kennels, and then later on that day, after they're rechecked again by the vet, they can go home. We also have an autoclave here. We do our own surgical instruments. That was another big deal. So we had the same autoclave that you see in hospitals and vet clinics all over. We have volunteers that know how to pack a surgical pack and put it in the autoclave so we can reuse sterilized.
And when we have the spay and neuters, we have a lot of volunteers that come help us. It's usually the same people every time, which is great. And this will be packed full of people helping animals as they come out of surgery.
They'll be all over here. They'll be on the floor. Large dogs, we have to make pads for, and we put them on the floor. But then when they come in, and here's the intake room where this is where they're shaved. We have IVs ready if they need them. They get sedated here and then go into our surgical suite where we have our own anesthesia machine. We have our own oxygen. We have our own surgery light. Again, another heat and air unit, 2 surgery tables. So it's all up to code. So it's a big deal for us. We're very, very happy. The anesthesia was obtained through a grant from the 2 Mods Foundation, which is a granting foundation that only deals with animals in Appalachia. And he's out of New York, and somehow he fell in love with Appalachia, and they allow so many grants, and so that's how we got the anesthesia machine. The same thing, we have to buy vaccines, we have to buy syringes, needles, all of that kind of stuff. Everything you need. I mean, Dexiclor, all kinds of stuff. But we make it work.
It's really a great thing because ain't a lot of shelters have this.
No.
That I know of.
No.
So we're very, very lucky and blessed to have this. Everything's based
Yes.
on your income. I think right now the prices range from $60 to $110, depending on what a person makes a year. That's what we base it off of. So we try to help as much as possible at the cost because, it could be $60 here. If you take it somewhere else, you're looking at about $250, $300, sometimes more, depending on the size of the dog. So we're trying our best doing what we can, to get the population down. We're trying to do our part. We just need the public to kind of do their part as much as possible. I've been to a few shelters and I've never seen another shelter have this. So we're
Well,
very
we
blessed to have this in Harlan County.
Okay, this is our intake room. It's where, and when an animal is surrendered or whatever, they're brought in. Or they're brought in here. They're weighed. Get a little mug shot right there with their picture. Vaccinated.
And as hard as it is, you know, to bring an animal in, we all know it's hard to bring an animal in. We try not to judge anybody. I know some people. I know some people have said in the past they felt judged bringing an animal in. We don't do that. We're not. You know, we'd rather you bring them here than set them in a ditch somewhere, you know, where they'll perish. So bring them to the shelter if you can't. You ain't got nowhere else to take them. We'd be more than happy to take them and get them out on rescue or adoption.
So we're trying every way we can, you know, to get to get the overpopulation under control. But it won't be until owners take responsibility for the pets. But anytime anybody wants to adopt, they're welcome to come in. They're welcome to see our cats. They're welcome to see our puppies. They're welcome to see the dogs. You know, but if you adopt, you have to spay or neuter that pet.
That's right. That's so important.
That's the only
That
reason.
is so important.
That's why we have the adoption fee. It's not
Yes.
to make money or it's to get that animal altered. But studies have shown you cannot euthanize your way out of this problem.
No.
You know, that's why we've had several what we call TNRs, which is trap and release,
Yes.
where we trap community cats, take them in, get them fixed, give them a rabies shot, and send them back
out.
Let them do their cat life.
Let them do their cat life, you know. But and they're like, well, if you got them, why do you just not? No, you can't euthanize your way out of this problem.
No. So the best alternative to that is to
Get
release
them
them back.
fixed, and then of course the universal sign is to clip the ear a little bit, so you know if you ever see a cat.
Okay,
Oh,
I didn't
wow.
know
Have you ever
that.
seen a cat with a little tip off its ear?
I think I have.
Okay, yeah, I have.
Yes.
Then that cat's been altered.
Okay, the point she's making, I think, is excellent because there's proof of it that you can't euthanize your way out of like the stray cat or stray dog problem. Because we did that in America for many years, and we still have stray cats and stray dogs. So that's proof you can't do it.
On a weekly basis, on average, we probably get about 15 dogs a week, which makes it hard for us because we don't have a lot of the space to do. That's why as soon as we get dogs in, our goal is to get them out as quickly as possible because we know we're going to have that probably double or triple what just came in, you know, or that's going out is going to be coming in. So we have to stay on top of everything every single day. Stay on top of the rescues every day.
You know, it's not just, you know, you don't just put them in that trailer. Every dog has to be temp tested. Have you ever seen a temp test? That we bring 2 dogs out. You have to have a videographer. They have to video those dogs, their temperament together. Who's the alpha? Who's the submissive? Are they good with other dogs? Are they food aggressive, cat
Good
aggressive?
with small dogs, big dogs, cats, like food, like you said. They got to check all those things before they even take them.
So, then
So we
do
have
that.
to do that.
Yeah.
Wow.
And we have to send it to the rescue. And then they confirm if they're going to be, you know, confirmed for rescue or not. And then as soon as they get confirmed, then we have to do the health certs.
And the vaccinations.
And the vaccinations. And then we load all of them up on a trailer. Like I said, we do this every 2 weeks. Every other Friday is when we do it. And how many ever we go, we got to take them all the way to Corbin, to the Corbin Animal Hospital over there. And they do our health search and our rabies for us.
And who pays for that? Friends of the Shelter.
The shelter. And then once we, you know, do all that at Corbin, then we got to get on Howard Rogers Parkway and go all the way to Hazard to drop them off. So it's an all-day trip for us, which we're more than happy to do because it's getting these animals out. But it's a process. It's a big process.
And that transport out, okay, we start working on the next one.
Yeah, there ain't no break time on it.
But it's, you know, it's interesting because I don't mean a pun, but they dogleg, you know, so we take them to Hazard, then Hazard will take them to Chicago, then someone in Chicago will take them to Minnesota, and then Minnesota will send them to Wisconsin. So, I mean, we've done this all the way across the country, you know, with different rescue groups. And we're just so thankful for them.
So, on average, and we keep track of all the animals that come in and how many go out. On average, it's about 1,000 a year. Is that right?
Over 1,000.
Over 1,000 animals.
We've already had over 1,000 this year. So we might end up reaching 2,000 by December.
that we rescue.
You know, plus our adoptions. We didn't have adoptions here for a few years because what we were finding, and this is another horrible reality, is that sometimes people would go to the shelter and get a dog that nobody cared for, and that dog would become a bait dog for animal fighting.
No.
And so once we kind of got wind of that, we just shut it down. And we kept it shut down for a long, long time, for several years. Now we've opened it up back up. The people who come in here now, we know what they're looking for. It's mom, dad, and, the 2 kids.
Yes.
It's an elderly lady that needs somebody to sit and lay in her lap, so a lap cat, It's those types of families, and we're so grateful,
Yes.
to be able to do that.
Yes.
We're going to learn about what it takes to feed an animal shelter.
Yeah, as you can see, we got 50-pound bags here, which we get a pallet a month, which comes with 40 bags, so 40, 50-pound bags. And here lately, because we've been overrun on intake, we've had so many animals, this lasts less than a month. Almost $1,500
Wow.
per pallet,
Oh my.
and which we pay for out of our budget, county budget. Fiscal court helps us out with that. But almost $1,500 per pallet, and we go through that less than a month.
Wow.
That is
Which, like I said, it all depends on how many we have.
Show the folks what you've got to stack.
Yeah, we just got one in today, so
Walmart usually ain't that well stocked.
yeah. And we try to help out the local businesses around here. So we get these from Matt's Feed and Seed up there towards Everett. Try to help him out. He helps us out. So
yes, absolutely.
try to help our own,
That's right.
And this dog food's actually better than what you really would buy, like in Walmart or places like that. This is very high protein, stuff like that.
deal on it too.
Yeah.
Just passed it on.
Yeah.
Well, that's great.
That's why we go through him, because it's actually cheaper that way. $1,500 is expensive any way you look at it, but it is cheaper than it would be going through like a Walmart or somebody like that. And that ain't nothing against Walmart, it's just how they do business. But
Lady just dropped this little kitten off as we was leaving. Somebody threw it out at her house, and they took it in because that's what they're here for.
yep, we'll take it in on the intake. We'll try to take care of it, clean it up a little bit, and try to get it out on rescue.
Hey folks, we want to thank the Friends of the Shelter for inviting us down here to the Harlan Animal Shelter. We want to thank Ryan, the director of the Harlan Animal Shelter, for showing us around, and we want to once again remind you, help these people out any way you can. And Miss Jewel, we showed you the dog that had the act of cruelty done to her. She will be available for adoption, and she's available to help right now. You're going to help with her vet bill.
Yes.
Thank you guys so much. What
you.
do we say at the end of these videos? Bye. God bless you folks. Thanks for watching. And this young lady has completely refused to be on camera till now. What's her name?
Candace.
Candace. This is Candace. And she don't like cameras.